in another instance of
Official fanfic.
What if Mulan had to travel to the underworld? The story begins during the avalanche scene. Mulan takes the cannon shooting the mountain peak, creating an avalanche. But this time, instead of Mulan being slashed by Shan Yu, Shang received the hit for her. Mulan tries to take Shang to safety with Shan Yu on their backs trying to end them. Soon, the avalanche reached them, and like in the movie, they are caught and saved by our favorite trio of soldiers. Unfortunately, Shang's condition seems severe and they have no way to treat him. And I'm wondering, where is the doctor from the movie? That one that saved Mulan after the avalanche? Apparently in this version, he doesn't exist. Shifu, the squalid coward, wants to leave Shang for dead. He is in charge now that the captain is incapacitated, and his orders are to go back with the emperor to tell the news that the Yuno's army is gone. He believes that Shang is just going to be a burden and he's dead anyways. But Mulan offers herself to be responsible for Shang. She's not about to leave him behind. Shifu accepts reluctantly after the other soldiers take Mulan's side, but she won't be able to receive help from anyone. They move for hours, with Shang having a high fever. The situation doesn't look good. Shang wakes up at some point and makes Mulan's promise to take his ashes to his mother, but Mulan is stubborn. She won't let him die. The other soldiers make a camp ahead of her, even going to prepare her and Shang a tent to be more comfortable, completely ignoring Shang's orders not to help. During the night, Mulan sees an apparition of Shang's father. The general tells Mulan that his son won't survive the night, but Mulan is not about to give up. She feels responsible for his injury. She thinks it's her fault for not reacting faster. By the way, she dwells on this too much in my opinion. Mulan asks if there is anything at all she can do to save him, which the general says that there is only one thing: convincing the underworld god himself. With that, Mulan wakes up to a roar. The roar comes from a stone lion, the guardian of the Li family, Shishi. This one comes to aid Mulan to reach the underworld, although he has no faith in this squalid soldier. Mulan hops in his back, he roars, the ground shakes open and he throws himself in. Once they have reached the bottom, they are surrounded by demons. These ones are reluctant to let an alive human go into the underworld, but Shishi lies, telling them that Mulan has fairy blood, and that they had an appointment with Yama, the king of the underworld. Mulan and Shishi are then escorted by the demons through a very long bridge. At the end of this bridge, they encounter 4 noisy ghosts, guardians of the entrance, like the demons. One of them is especially suspicious of Mulan, sensing something is strange about her. Mind you, they all think Mulan is a boy. Being supernatural doesn't bring any special ability to see humans by the true form, I guess. And by the way, I don't think it's well justified Mulan self-sacrificing for Shang. Not to this extent, at least. I think we needed a deeper interaction between them. Because in the movie, it isn't until the final fight that I think the relationship between the group was ratified, right? It's not entirely out of character, but it feels exaggerated. But I digress. They reach the Stairs of Judgment. A huge line of new ghosts were patiently waiting in line, including Mulan's regiment and all the Han's army. But Mulan doesn't have much time, so she skips the line, causing a commotion between all the ghosts who had been waiting for a long time. This attracts the attention of Yama himself, who angrily calls for the intruders to be brought before him. Yama is very dismissive about the reason to disturb the line, but Mulan is hard-headed. She hops to his desk, not accepting his dismissal. He is amazed by her determination and decides to give her a chance. If she can find Shang's spirit and take him to the world of the living before morning, both of them will be safe. But if she fails, she will have to serve in the underworld forever. This means no probability to go to heaven or reincarnate. Mulan accepts the deal, and off she goes into the heart of Daiyu. By the way, if you're wondering why is Shang already in the underworld, it is because they know he will die and are preparing his soul to be reincarnated, since he is a good man. They are thrown into a bamboo forest where they find General Lee. This one instructs them in the direction of the Tower of the Last Glance to Home, where Chang is spending his last hours remembering his life. But the difficult task is not finding him. Ascending will be the toughest task, since ghosts are not meant to live. They are currently at the 79th floor, which means a hell of a climb. Mulan finds Chang by a window of the tower, lost in his own memories. Initially, he doesn't believe that Pink is there. He also doesn't see a point on leaving. But Mulan tells him a story from his childhood. General Lee told her this story because he knew how his son is. And she also makes him understand how much the rest of the group and China needs him. His story was not over. He still had a lot to do for his country. And with hope, he accepts to leave. When he crosses the door to leave the room, the tower starts to collapse, sending Chang, Chi-Chi, and Mulan even further down Daiju. The fall takes them down to a flower garden with a golden pavilion. Inside is a sweet old woman. She tells them that she knows how to get through Daiju. They ask if she could help them, but the woman's answer is to have some tea first. She is very persistent about it. I don't know, guys. She may be bad, luring them to a trap. And turns out I was right, because not long after serving them tea, Mulan starts to get dizzy and forgets the reason she's there. But Mulan managed to clear her mind and she wakes Chang and Chi-Chi too. They start running out of the pavilion, but Chi-Chi is trapped by monstrous trees. The old lady turns out to be the Lady of Forgetfulness. She is the one in charge of erasing the memories of those bound to reincarnate. And then she summons demons. Chang frees Chi-Chi and the group restart their run to safety. They reach a rocky cliff, leaving the garden behind, but the demons follow them. They enter a cave in a mountain where they come across a wall of knives. The only way out is going up through the wall. Mulan wraps her hands and feet with her armor. This climb is most dangerous for her, but there are no other options. This wall of knife doesn't deter the demons either. Seeing this, Chi-Chi decides to give them extra time by sacrificing himself. He was not able to protect General Lee, but he will make sure to protect his son. He jumps to the demons, stopping their climb. Chang and Mulan won't waste his sacrifice, and they reach the end of the mountain. Resting on the top, Mulan finds a sword with her family name between the last knives. It has an inscription that says, "The flower that blooms in adversity is the most rare and beautiful of all." She keeps the sword, and while resting, she and Chang talks more personally. We discover that Chang may need to find a wife once he goes back home, but no woman has ever been able to attract his attention before. They are too shallow and are after his family name. Mulan teases him about finding a stronger woman. There could be women soldiers if given the chance. Chang laughed at this. Women are not as strong as we are. Besides, it's illegal. Oh, Chang, if you knew. She cuts the conversation short when he starts to ask about her sister. Mulan feels terrible knowing she is lying and doing something dishonorable. If Chang knew, he will not trust her again, or even look at her. She buries her growing feelings for her captain and decides she cannot tell him the truth. She then tells him about the deal with Yama instead. Chang is very worried about the situation, and he has been a very worried captain since they met, always making sure Ping is fine, which is very cute to be honest. Back to the story, Mulan and Chang hear a roar, and Chi-Chi lands in front of them. In a true Disney fashion, the lion is alive. But before they can continue the trouble, they are surrounded by angry ghosts. These ones want to get rid of Mulan, and they cannot really defeat or hurt a ghost, because they are already dead. Mulan gets an idea. They could call for their own ancestors for help, and so they did. 3 ghosts from the Fa family come to their rescue, but they are a little reluctant to help since they know no one named Ping, and Mulan has no way to prove she is part of the family. Still, they agree to help them get to the next area. The ghosts take them through a shortcut, all the while questioning the veracity of Pink's existence. It does not scale any further, but they manage to generate doubts in Chang. The ghosts leave them in the 97th floor, and now it's up to them to find the next door. The problem is that Chang can't let go of whatever secret Pink has. As far as Chang knows, Pink can be a demon. Shishi takes that moment to come on Mulan's rescue, ensuring Chang that Pink was his original friend and that she has risked everything to save him. Chang is at peace with Shishi voucher for Mulan, but she cannot bear to hide it anymore, and so she tells the truth. The Fa family has no son, and her name was Mulan. Chan chan chan. My guy Chang takes this news very poorly. Gone is his friendly feelings toward her. He doesn't want to see her again, and she had to find her way on her own from that moment on. Like, I get he feels betrayed, but she still went to the fucking underworld to save him. The very least he should do is let her reach the exit with them. Otherwise, this is almost a death sentence. Mulan starts her solo journey, and she finds a fox on her way, who guides her to the correct exit tunnel, or at least she hopes it's the correct one. The fox guides her to a recreation of her own house, and the fox turns out to be the Lady of Forgetfulness, who is talking sweetly to Mulan. Mulan is very vulnerable because of the recent events with her identity, and she doesn't have the strength to resist the aroma of the enchanted tea. The lady is offering a place where she can be herself, and she is trapped in an illusion with her family in their house. In this illusion, they are discussing how proud they are of Mulan and the good impression at the matchmaker. They had found a suitable husband for her, although Mulan doesn't feel as happy of this news. The illusion is interrupted by the intrusion of Chang and Shishi. They make her remember she is in the underworld, and she refuses the illusion the Lady of Forgetfulness prepared for her, showing instead a vast desert in his place. But Mulan is more surprised to see Chang. This one came back for her after realizing even if she is a woman and lied, she is still the same Pink who risked her life to save him and was still his friend. Although now it's really awkward knowing that Pink is a woman. He thankfully asks for her forgiveness for leaving her behind, and she accepts it. With this, they restart their journey up. They cross a door that leads them into the bottom of a volcano. They dodge fireballs while climbing the stairs on the volcano walls. They are close to the top when they realize they are in a fire demon domain. Why? He launched at them a wall of fires, separating her from the guys, and the demon grabs Mulan. Leaving her at the top of the volcano, Huogwai proceeds to toy with them, halting their progress without actually killing them. Mulan has to fight some fiery demons on her own, using her special magical blade. The demons are taken back. They recognize the sword as the Sword of the Blazing Sun, a sword from a legend of a semi-god hero. Mulan defeats them all with the help of the sword. She then jumps over the river of hopelessness, missing it by a very little bit, and in a group effort, they trick the fire demon so he falls into the river himself. Moving again, they reach the city of Ghost, Jiudu. It is meant for those that do not deserve punishment, but can't quite go to heaven yet. There, they find one of Mulan's ancestors from before. He had lied about several things, especially about how far they could take them. Apparently, the entire underworld was betting on them, if she will reach the exit or not. The group surround him, demanding directions to a possible escape route, and there is only one way for them: the Chamber of Mirrors. That happens to be in what looks like an antique store. Mulan then convinced the storekeeper to let them try. The chamber is like a trial where your fight is against yourself, and the only catch now is that only Mulan will be permitted in this trial. It is entirely up to her at this point. The mirror torments her with illusions of her family disappointment and judgment from her village. The last straw is Chang. He tells her that one of them needs to stay for the other to leave, but her determination to keep him alive leads to her choosing sacrifice before leaving him behind. This is still part of the illusion, by the way. With that decision, she passes the first test. She is then confronted by her own reflection. Different versions of her stand before her. All of them were doors, and only one has the true exit. Listening to them, she realized she was all of them, but none really struck who she was, and so she looked down to her own reflection on the floor. The person she had become through this journey, from becoming a soldier through her travels through the underworld, and like that, the floor opened to a set of stairs. At the end of the stairs, the Lady of Forgetfulness was waiting in her true form. She is in charge of keeping order in the underworld. Her task was to deter Mulan to keep the balance, but Mulan has proven herself worthy, and Chang had still much to do. She had won. She gives Mulan an exquisite armor, although she cannot take it to the world of the living, which is what is the point of giving her an armor if she cannot take it with her? But anyways, the Lady of Forgetfulness then reveals being the true owner of the magical sword. The hero had been a semi-god woman, a warrior that proved herself and chose to stay in the Yu because she wanted to be useful. It makes sense that she wanted Mulan to succeed, probably seeing herself in her, and not every day one comes across a worthy warrior. Chang and Chi-Chi are waiting for her at the end of the Bridge of Serenity. Behind them, King Yama. Chang has a hard time saying anything at all when he sees Mulan, being the first time seeing her in women's clothing. This is so cute! Behind them, General Lee appears to say goodbye to his son, telling him how proud he is. A proper closure for father and son. King Yama removes Shanks from the dead list and sends them on to the living. Chi-Chi says goodbye to Mulan since she won't be able to see him again. Unless, of course, she becomes part of the Lee family. His words. Then Chang and Mulan share a moment where he admits he will never find a woman like her again, and he had no plans of letting go. Mulan wakes up in the tent back at the camp. For a moment, she thinks that it was all a dream, but in her pocket lies the flower Lady of Forgetfulness has given her. She checks Chang, and this one no longer has a fever, and his wound is healing. But when Chang wakes up, he doesn't seem to have memories of that Yu. Mulan is sad and at the same time happy that he is alive. He is soon on his feet, and they head towards the Emperor. On their way, Chang asks Mulan for a moment to talk, and thankfully he had not forgotten. He reiterates his intention towards her, wondering if her family wouldn't mind his presence. Which we know they won't, especially Grandma.
Woo! Sign me up for the next war.
I'm so sad this ended. This book deserves a reading chance if you like the story. There is so much details that I did not cover. So many twists and turns, but I won't hold you much longer. See you next video, hopefully.